We always think the world is doomed. The world's always been doomed. You know, the world's always been doomed. You know, we talk about the elites and children. That's nothing new. You know, trafficking children. That's nothing new. Human sacrifice. That's nothing new. Organ harvesting. That's nothing new. Rape, murder, slavery. It's just there's nothing new about it. Maybe the labels change. Maybe the people who did it change. The color of the flag of the group who did it. The uniform of the regime changes. One day they'll call it democracy. The next day it's communism. And on the third day they call it nationalism. It's just all. It's just evil goes by many colors. Evil goes by many names. Evil goes by many structures. So to think, oh, we're cooked now and this generation is messed up. Nah, man, it's all messed up. It's always been messed up. You know, and to think that the world will change, you know. I saw this guy super angry at the world, and I get it. And he was screaming, we need a revolution and we need a militia and we need to storm the Capitol and we need to, you know, it's just, okay, now you're upset. Now you want to go in there and just murder and bloodshed, which I get, you know, you're upset and you want to go change something. But let's say then you replace the evil regime and then you enforce your regime, and how long's that going to last? 25 years, that whole system is corrupt. You know, you might be perfect, you know, you might be God himself. You're just great. But your followers, they might not be. You know, it's just, you know, a regime, an organization, a group, it'll always crumble to complete poison. So in a sense, the world has always been every man for himself. And if you don't prepare and build the boat, in a sense like Noah, right? The flood is coming. This flood of corruption, the flood of death, the flood of inflation, the flood of war, the flood of tyranny, the flood of any horrible thing you could ever imagine. The flood is coming. And you might be lucky and it might not hit you. Sure, but it might hit your kids. Might not, but it might hit their grandkids. So it doesn't matter if it's you or your kids, but somebody needs to prepare and needs to build this boat for when the flood hits. You know, because no matter what you do, you want to build a barrier and you want to warn everybody and you want to, you know, it's like the flood's coming and it's going to hit so damn hard. It's going to hit so damn hard and it's always going to hit. So if you don't build that boat on your own time, you know, of course you have things to do, responsibilities and a job and children and your parents and your own sickness and your own demons and all of that. Totally fair. But that's just how life goes, man. You know, Noah probably struggled as well. He probably had a bunch of other stuff to do. But then God showed up and said, you got to build a boat, man. And the bigger the better. And if you get everybody on there that you love, you can save them. So you build a big boat, got all the animals on there. Whole crew. The animals are your family. And you have to build that boat in your free time. And the bigger the boat, the more money you have, the more skills you have, the more people on your team that can help build that boat, you know, the more people you can rescue and float away, right? Float away. That's why rich people don't die in war. You know why? It's because they got so many boats. They got big boats. They got $200 million boats. They got planes. They got helicopters. You know, it's not just a metaphor. It's actually reality. It's actually reality. There's nothing, there's no fiction about that story at all. There's no fiction about that story at all. And the tyrant knows that. That's why he doesn't give you time to build that boat. You know, he wants to take all your money. He wants to take all your time. He wants to spread you thin. You know, because in a sense, he is that flood. And he's in his watchtower. He floods you. And then he goes and collects all your assets. All your little coins. Now I can scavenge. You know? Because he prepared himself. Yes, by an evil ruling hand, by oppression, by corruption, by hate. Sure, not playing by the rules. Didn't say he was. Definitely the guy playing by the rules. Neither is the flood. The flood has no rules. The firmament will break open and will gush out of the sky. That's unfair in a sense. I thought the flood's only coming from the ocean, right? You're like, well, I'm gonna build a big wall right there because when the flood hits, I'm gonna block the ocean. Nah, man, it's coming from the sky. It's coming from underground. You are cooked. Build a boat. Build a boat. Yeah, so we're not the lost generation. We're just a generation with different types of suffering. You know? Different type of suffering. Different type of struggle. Different type of demons. Different type of monsters. But it's all the same. It's all the same. And it's your decision to smile or frown. It's your decision to hate or uplift. And, you know, even men or women say, oh, there's no good men out there and there's no good women out there. And I kind of believed that for a second. But then I went on to visit my friend, and he's in a really good community with some really good people. And I was like, good people are in a sense hiding. They're in small groups. They hide away from evil. They hide away from worldly things. They're quiet. You have to find them. You know, they're not shouting, they're whispering. Evil is loud. Corruption is loud. They're all loud. Lies are loud. The truth whispers. Peace is quiet. Peace is quiet. So yeah, there's good women out there. They're hiding. They're hiding. And there's good men out there. They're hiding. Because they're with the other good men, and the other good women are with the other good women. Preparing for the flood.